Challenges of cooperative societies. What are the challenges that they are facing right now? In fact, there are more challenges involved in cooperative societies. They are filled with challenges. They walk 2 steps, they limp 4 steps. They walk 2, they limp 4. It is that situation right now. Cooperatives, a lot of them lack technical aspects, technical training. They do not have the know-how of how to do things. They do not have the sufficient funds to manage themselves. There is undue interference by the government. Members are not aware of how the cooperatives actually function. Misutilization of funds, whatnot. Cooperative movement in India lacks spontaneity in the sense that it has not been emanated from the people themselves. Again, that's what people do not understand. A lot of them do not understand the concept of cooperatives. Hence, they do not have an idea of how significant the cooperatives can be. Inability to ensure active membership. Inability to ensure active membership. Active membership is you become a member of the cooperative and forget about that. People are not really followed up. They are not nudged to be active members. You become a member, you forget about that. You go there after 5 years. Once you visit your cooperative society after 5 years. Because you don't give it so much of significance also. Speedy exit of non-user members. Lack of member communication and awareness building measures. A lot of cooperatives lack the technological know-how. They are still rudimentary in nature. They do not use these technologies like bulk messaging or sending you mails, reminders, like your banks do. A lot of them don't do that. They still follow the old method. They'll still send you letters to your house address. We have a meeting, please attend. Which era are you in, man? Sending letters through post. We have a meeting on this day, please attend. Alright? The world has gone somewhere else and they're still stuck in the 20th century itself. Serious inadequacies in governance. The kind of people that we have in cooperatives who are managing things are pretty bad, I can say. The managements are bad. They do not know how to manage. There is no scientific management of cooperatives. There is no accountability also. If anything goes wrong, there is no accountability also. Including related to board roles and responsibilities. The boards, every cooperative societies have a board. You are a member, you can be part of the board as well. Okay. Largely the cooperatives don't take management very seriously. Old, archaic management. Lack of efforts for capital formation. In the sense that the cooperatives are not really looking for profits. Hence they forget that capital formation at least has to be taken seriously. They have this chalta hai to chalne do attitude. If it was running, let it run. When it stops, let us then think about it. They are not proactive, they are very reactive. Bad management, bad thought process, bad attitudes can kill even the best of cooperatives. Lack of cost competitiveness arising out of issues such as overstaffing and overall competitiveness due to the entry of MNCs in the Indian market. Cooperatives, because they do not invest money, whatever the produce that they get out. Consumer cooperatives, for example. There are a few of them, consumer cooperatives. You go there, they'll sell you everything. They are like your D-Mart. You have been to D-Mart? You can purchase anything and everything from there. There are consumer cooperatives who are like that, who are not popular, of course, but they'll sell you everything at a very nominal price. But the panga is quality, no quality at all. So if you are a member, you are forced to be part of that, but otherwise you are not. Otherwise, nobody would want to purchase these commodities produced by cooperatives. They are so bad, quality-wise, I'm speaking. Politicization, cooperatives. This is what is happening right now. Politicization. Every cooperative today is basically infiltrated by the representatives, MLAs, MPs. They want to have a say in every cooperative, and all the political parties have infiltrated cooperatives. There may be only few cooperatives remaining which are out of the political influence today. And these people use it as a political platform to spread their own ideologies, even in the cooperatives also. Everywhere they have to be present. And the excessive role of the government chiefly arising out of the loopholes and restrictive provisions in the Cooperatives Act. Government also comes and sits in because there are loopholes in the whole Cooperative Act itself, which is what leads them to come in. Done? The vital link in cooperative finance system, that is cooperative banks themselves remain very poor. Imagine the bank that lends you itself is very poor. Now you will have to lend the bank ulta. You will have to ask the bank, do you need any money? This is very true. The cooperative banks. See, if you want to have a loan today, if you want to borrow anything today, what kind of banks do you generally prefer today? What comes to your mind? A considerable sum of you want to borrow, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs you want to borrow. What kind of banks do you think you would want to go? The kinds of banks that come to your mind are either big private sector banks like ICICI Bank, HDFC, whatnot, or big public sector banks, SBI, Punjab National Bank, or others. Cooperative societies never come to your mind, or cooperative banks, sorry, never come to your mind. Because you know they're not capable of lending you a huge amount of money. They don't have that kind of capacity. If you want to construct a home, you say, I want 1 crore rupees. Borrow, I want to borrow 1 crore. If you go to the cooperatives, they'll say, you only give us 1 crore. You only give us 1 crore. Management is bad. Managerial practices are bad. Financial discipline is bad. Members withdraw money like anything. We are basically limping now. And again, you see so many cooperative bank failures. Every then in the news, this cooperative bank failed, that cooperative bank failed. Why? Why do cooperative banks fail more than the public sector or private sector banks? Scheduled banks. People deposit their hard-earned money in cooperatives. Govinda. All the money gone. The younger generation doesn't invest any money in cooperatives. Your parents, your grandparents, they are the ones who still go ahead with this. Because this was a popular concept when they were young. They are still living in that era. You see, any cooperative bank, the people who go there and deposit their money are the people who are slightly on the upper side of the 40 or 50s. Then the bank fails, they are all like, "Ayyo, paisa gone, barbad." Okay. The cooperative banks themselves remain very poor. They are too small to operate properly. And some of them are existing only on the paper as well. Not a good sign for cooperative cooperative banks. I've not seen any cooperative bank which performs or which competes with commercial banks, scheduled commercial banks. Members do not deposit a huge amount of money. Membership is not that significant. The NPAs. What are NPAs, bro? Non-performing assets. When you borrow something and do not pay back after a stipulated time, your borrowing has been categorized as an NPA, non-performing asset. Either the bank will write it off. Banks write it off at the end. They'll say cannot be recovered. Write it off. Lost to the bank. Or they'll give it to a recovery agency, DRT, Debt Recovery Tribunals. The NPAs of the cooperative banks are higher than those of the commercial banks. No strict rules, no compliance, no manpower even to enforce those compliance rules. People borrow, people forget to pay back. Cooperative, no, chalta hai bro. Take money, enjoy, don't worry to pay back. And if you know anybody in the cooperative banks, it is easy to get the money also, borrowing money. You have a relative in cooperative bank, he'll say, come. First we'll enroll you as a member, take money, go, run away. Let others keep crying, no problem. It's actually quite easy. But you won't get a huge money here because they don't have that much. Small amounts of money can be expected. Along with lesser than expected shareholders' participation in working, these banks are facing infrastructural weakness. Please go to a cooperative bank, not in Bangalore per se. Go to any cooperative bank in a tier 2 city, please, or tier 3 city. See what is the overall infrastructure of a cooperative bank from within. And in the same city, you go and visit a scheduled commercial bank. Observe the difference between both. Not here in Bangalore. Go to any tier 2, tier 3 city. If you enter cooperative banks in tier 2, you will be like, where did I come from? What is this? It looks as if you have gone 30, 40 years back. Everything is falling apart. Files. Technology is still missing. They're still stamping your things. Mobile banking and all. Say no mobile, no banking. Very rudimentary and archaic way of functioning things. That's what I'm saying. If you want to experience the cooperative functioning, go to a tier 2 or tier 3 city and then observe how they function. Very horrible. In fact, we say commercial banks itself operate horribly. Imagine if we say commercial banks operate horribly, they are even more horrible than the commercial banks. We are not even satisfied looking at the commercial banks. They perform even horribly than them. Cooperative banks. This is why they are not famous. If I ask you about a cooperative bank, you may tell me the names of cooperative banks that probably you might have heard or your parents are members of, etc. But out of the blue, suddenly give me a name of a cooperative bank, you'll struggle. Struggle because nobody is so popular there. Nobody is so big that you can remember their names. Scheduled commercial bank, you will say 20 names right now. 20 of them. They are everywhere, no? Cooperatives, one there, one here. Not really popular. Idea is great. Idea is tremendous. Implementation is the worst possible. Nobody is interested in implementing these things. Managing, implementation, the worst possible. Then the cooperative societies have regional variations also. Cooperative movement in Karnataka can be very different when compared to cooperative movement in, for example, Madhya Pradesh, when compared to cooperative movement in, for example, Himachal Pradesh. State by state cooperative movements may be very different. Limited success of cooperatives in some of the most fertile and populous region points towards the link of demographic and cultural factors. If the cooperative societies are failing in the most populous of the states, big states, if they're failing there, how will they survive in the smaller states? Where there are people, those people are not showing interest in cooperatives. How will regions with lesser population show any interest towards them? They are not learning through their drawbacks. They are not proactive. If there is a cooperative success story in some state, they do not, other cooperatives do not emulate them actively.